really excited because one of the things I do every single year during spooky season is I choose an author and I do their astrology and I read from their work. I've done Edgar Allan Poe, Mary Shelley, and this year we're doing Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde was known for his comedic works, for his wit, for his amazing mastery of prose, and yet he wrote one of the most disconcerting and interesting books called The Picture of Dorian Gray, which I think is just perfect for the times we're living in. When we look at Oscar Wilde's chart, we see Virgo rising, which he was a very dapper and dandy man. People don't ever give Virgo energy the credit it deserves for being well put together. He had a very cultivated and curated look. He had Venus in Libra and his sun in Libra in the second house. Not a surprise, he made his income from the arts. And they were trying Saturn in Gemini at the top of his chart, conjunct the midheaven. He had a Scorpio Mercury and a Sagittarius Mars, both in the third house in this chart. Not a huge surprise. His Mercury was in opposition to Uranus in Taurus. He was born in 1854, which it had some very similar energy to a few years ago, like 2021, 22. And the world was changing in a very similar way. Different, but it was still changing. And he was kind of the product of that social change. Of course, his Pluto was in Taurus. It takes forever for Pluto to move through Taurus. So that takes like 40 years. So he was at the beginning of that. Neptune was in Pisces in his chart, not a huge surprise, but in square to his Saturn. And he did face difficulty for his work and his personhood in life. He was jailed for immorality because he was gay. He had Jupiter in Capricorn in the fifth. And I think people sleep on Capricorn energy a lot. The fifth house is our creative self-expression. He was a very creative man. And Capricorn is all about realization and becoming. That's a little look into who he is. I'll go a little deeper in the Patreon, but he was a master of prose and language.